Hi, this is Inshal Lee, Product Support Specialist for Autodesk Inventor. In this video, I'll guide you through the process of planning and executing network installation of Inventor 2010. Before I make a deployment, let me show you several methods of distributing Autodesk Inventor. For the network installation of Inventor, deployment is the default method and will be explained in this video. You can also simply insert the product media and change the license type to network license during the installation. Please refer to Network Administrator's Guide for other methods such as scripting, group policy objects, System Center Configuration Manager, or imaging software. To prepare for deployment, you should take the time to review the following requirements and options. Before installing the product on a network, make sure the client machines, the administrative image location, and the network license server meet the minimum recommended hardware and software requirements. You need to decide which license server model to use to distribute the product's licenses. Use one of the three license server models: single, distributed, and redundant. Each of these license server models is described in detail in the Network Licensing Guide. The Network License Manager is used to configure and manage the license servers. Make sure that the License Manager is up and running and your Inventor licenses are available. You can refer to the other video technical solution for more information on setting up Network License Manager. Serial number and product key are located on product packaging or are available in the electronic fulfillment email if you downloaded the product. You need to create a network share that will be used by the Autodesk Inventor deployment wizard during the creation of a client deployment. Inventor installation may stop if some applications are running when you are installing the product or creating deployments. Close all running applications and temporarily disable virus checking utilities to minimize the chances of installation failure. You'll have a chance to decide what languages you will include in your administrative image and what language you will use for your deployment. If product service packs are available on the internet or you've already downloaded them, you can append or merge them into your installation image. Let's begin the network installation of Inventor 2010. Insert the first disk of Inventor DVDs and the installation wizard will show up. If it is not automatically loaded, run setup manually from the media to bring up the wizard. Installing Autodesk Inventor uses the installation wizard and it will step you through the process of installing the software. Follow the dialog boxes and select or enter options as prompted. From the installation wizard, you can install products, create deployments, install tools and utilities, and read useful documentations. You can also choose install language. Since my Inventor has Korean language pack, I can switch between English and Korean. Keep in mind that the language is for the install only. In-product language will be determined later. Now click Create Deployments. Shared folders are required for network license method of installation. It is a network location where you place administrative image. You must have full control permission set for your shared folder when you create deployment images. If you are a client machine and going to install the product from the deployment, read permissions are adequate. I've already created a folder named My Deployments, and now I'm going to share it. My permission level is already owner, which means that I have full control permissions. Let me add everyone and set the permission level to reader because other users will access this folder to install the product. It is recommended that you name the network share folder so that it can clearly convey the name of the product you plan to deploy. You can name it such as Inventor 2010, for example. Since my deployments folder is already shared, any subfolders are automatically shared. I'll copy the network path and paste it in the image location field. You can also click Browse and browse to the folder. You then specify the name of the deployment. Let me name it Inventor 2010 English 64 as I'll be creating 64-bit deployment. You can create 32-bit or 64-bit deployment depending on your client's environment. It means you can create 32-bit deployment even if your operating system is 64-bit and vice versa. Administrative image is a network copy of installation media. You can choose certain products to include in the administrative image. If you are planning to create additional deployments in the future, you may wish to include all products. Deployments are created based on the administrative image, so if a product is to be included in a deployment, it has to be included in the administrative image. Here, Inventor 2010 is checked for both deployment and administrative image. If you are planning to make a deployment for AutoCAD Mechanical 2010 later but not this time, you can uncheck it for deploy and check for administrative image instead. If you're not going to need Volt 2010 at all, you can clear the checkbox for both administrative image and deployment. For this tutorial, I'll choose only Inventor 2010 for deployment and include mechanical in the administrative image. Language packs are provided to subscription customers. They are downloadable through the subscription center. If you've downloaded any additional language pack, you can install the product in that language or include it in administrative image for future use. You may have already noticed that an extra language is listed in the box. Since my Inventor is Korean version, it already includes both English and Korean. I can also add additional language packs. Here I have German language pack that I can add. I can decide whether I want to use the language for the deployment or include it in the administrative image. Now English will be used for the deployment. Korean and German will be included in the administrative image, and I can later create deployments using either of the languages. Language packs are provided according to the language family that you're entitled to. Check with your subscription admin for additional languages you can download. If you agree with the license agreement, click I accept and next. Serial number and product key are printed on product packaging. If you downloaded your product, you can find them in the electronic fulfillment email message you received. Let me enter my serial number. Product key was introduced with the release of Autodesk 2010 products to help users better identify a purchased product when installing. 462B1 is the product key for Inventor Professional 2010. Fill in name and organization accordingly. The information you enter is permanently retained with the product and will be displayed in the help menu on all client machines. Take care when entering this information, as you cannot change it later without uninstalling the product. If you look at the list of products here, only Inventor Professional Suite 2010 is enabled, while others are grayed out. That is because we entered the product key 462B1, which was for Inventor Professional. Let me quickly go back to the previous screen and change it to 527B1, which is for Inventor Suite. You'll notice that now AutoCAD Inventor Suite 2010 is enabled, while others are grayed out. And go back and change it back to Inventor Professional. It is important that the correct Inventor product is selected. You will need to reinstall Inventor if your selection is different from what you have purchased. There are two types of log files which you can monitor information about deployments and the installations. The first one is network log. The network log file keeps a history of all clients that run the deployment. Refer to this file for status information and details about the problems that users encountered during installation. The second one is client log. The client log file is created in the temporary folder of each client workstation and can be used for diagnosing installation problems. If silent mode is checked, the installation proceeds without any explicit user input. No dialog boxes are presented that require interaction from a user. You may uncheck this box if you want your users to interact with the installation wizard and make any necessary changes during the installation. It can also be used for diagnosing installation errors in this mode. If you choose to have your users participate in the customer involvement program, specific information about how you use Autodesk Inventor is forwarded to Autodesk. This information includes what features you use the most, problems that you encounter, and others that are helpful to the future direction of the product. It is recommended you check this option. In the Review, Configure, Create Deployments window, you can select a product from the list box to review the current settings for that product. Default settings are provided for your convenience, which include deployment settings and product settings. You can click Configure button to review and customize the default settings for the product. You may skip this step and directly proceed to create deployments if you're satisfied with the current settings. However, the default license type is standalone license, and you must change it to network license for network installation of Inventor. Let's review the settings for Inventor 2010. Select Network License. You'll be prompted to choose the license server model. Let me briefly explain three license server models. In the single license server model, all license usage is managed by a single server. You have just one point of administration and one point of failure. This is the default and the easiest among three. In the redundant license server model, you use three servers to make up a license server pool. One server acts as the master, while the other two provide backup if one fails. Licenses are available as long as two servers are up. All servers must reside on the same subnet and have consistent network communications. In the distributed license server model, licenses are distributed across more than one server. If any server fails, the licenses on the remaining servers are still available. You'll need to add each of the servers. The order here decides the order of the servers that a client looks for in case it can't find the license. So for example here, a client will contact server 3 if it can't find any license in server 2 and server 1. I'll choose single license server model and use server 1 as my license server. This screen makes your selections based on your preferences. Be careful because they cannot be modified after installation. You will have to uninstall and reinstall Inventor. The icon color theme changes the colors for the commands in the ribbon, quick access toolbar, and the navigation bar. You can also later change it in the application options inside Inventor. If you have exported your custom settings from an existing Inventor product, you can import them and apply to your deployment. There are three options: application, customization, and ribbon customization settings. Application settings allow you to set behavioral options for Inventor operations. This is the application options window in Inventor 2010. You can export the settings to XML file and import it. Customizing settings allow you to customize your work environment, including customizing keyboard shortcuts or modify the default shortcuts. This is the Customize window in Inventor 2010. You can export the settings to XML file and import it. Ribbon customizing settings allow you to create custom user-defined panels for each of the ribbon tabs. This is the Customize User Commands window in Inventor 2010. Again, you can export the settings to XML file and import it. If you don't have any custom settings, it is recommended to choose default Inventor settings for most users. Content Center provides default libraries containing thousands of standard screw, bolts, nuts, washers, pins and more that can be inserted in assemblies. Determine the Content Center installation scenario that is best suited for your company. If you work as a single user and not in a shared environment, choose Inventor Desktop Content. Content Center libraries will be installed directly to your local drive. If you work in a shared environment, using Content Center libraries on a shared Vault server is a solution. You'll have to install the server and the Content Center libraries from the Autodesk Vault 2010 server media separately. Refer to other video or installation documents for more information on Content Center. You may choose between typical and custom for the desired installation type. Typical installs the most common application features such as Inventor program files, sample files, and the software development kit. It is recommended for most users. If you select custom, you'll be able to include or exclude features. You can always go back to default settings by clicking Restore Defaults. The default installation path is C Program Files Autodesk. A product folder is added during the installation. For example, Inventor will be installed to C Program Files Autodesk Inventor 2010. You can add additional files to your deployment. First, select the location where you'd like to add your files. Click Browse to select files. Let me add Special Instructions text file. You can also add a new folder by clicking Add Folder button. For example, you may create a component templates folder to store your templates. Click Add Drive to include a drive name. You can also create a new folder under it. I'm going to name it Parts and add my part image. Click Remove to delete a file, folder, or drive that you have just added. You have the option to include service packs for your deployment. If you're connected to the internet, the installation wizard will automatically check Autodesk.com for any available service packs and let you download it to your local drive. If you have already downloaded service packs to your local drive or local network, you can select them as well. Once you include your service pack, you'll need to plan how you want your service pack to be handled from below two options. You can append or merge. When you append a service pack, the service pack is applied to the current deployment only. The service pack file is included in the deployment and applied after the product is deployed. When you merge a service pack, the service pack is merged into the administrative image MSI file. Once it is merged, it cannot be removed from the administrative image. Products are updated with Live Update, which downloads patches to your product using Communication Center. Beyond Live Update, other information channels and feeds can be displayed by the Communication Center. Users can receive product updates and support announcements from Autodesk server. If you have a patch list XML file that has a list of patches available for installation, you can choose Receive Live Updates from local server. Information channels notify users with various information such as product support information. If you'd like to use Cat Manage Channel, specify feed location and display name. I'll disable it for now. Users can subscribe to RSS feeds and each feed is contained within a discrete Info Center category. Subscription Center provides Autodesk subscription customers access to resources such as e-learning, knowledge base, and web support. You can determine whether users can access it by using Help and clicking a subscription resource. Users without access can still learn about subscription resources by using the same option on the Help menu. If Inventor closes unexpectedly while using, users will have an opportunity to send an error report directly to Autodesk. These reports help Autodesk to determine and resolve the error. When this option is checked, users will receive notifications when their reported errors are resolved. Users can send reports anonymously or include their computer names. You've completed configuration. Click Configuration Complete button below or go back to previous pages to make any changes. You'll have a chance to review your settings before you finally create a deployment. If you're satisfied with the settings, click Create Deployment button. Create deployment takes a while, so I'm gonna fast forward to the final page. Now the deployment is completed. If you have internet connection, you can register your products online. Click Finish to exit the screen. Let's say I'm a user who's going to install Inventor from the deployment. I go to Shared folder, My Deployments, and Inventor 2010. You can see there's a shortcut named Inventor 2010 English 64 that I defined in the beginning of the deployment process. Double-click this icon to install Inventor. Since this will proceed in a silent mode, there won't be any dialog boxes asking for your input. It will proceed in the background. The actual installation process takes a while, so I'm gonna fast forward this part. Now Inventor is installed on my machine and the shortcut is created on the desktop. Let's run Inventor to verify it's correctly installed. To check the product information, go to Help and click About Autodesk Inventor Professional. Then click Product Information. it'll show you product license information. Let me just point out one thing here. License name is showing AutoCAD Inventor Suite 2010. Don't worry because it'll change to professional once you run professional commands. This is a changed behavior in 2010 version, which is called dynamic licensing and is explained in other video technical solution. That's the end of my video technical solution. I hope this video will help you in planning and executing the network installation of Inventor 2010. Thanks for watching.